It's lager time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?
Greetings, bonjour, what's happening? Welcome to Lager Time. My name is Paul Cree. Lager Time is my fairly regular podcast where I share bits of writing that I'm working on. Poems, stories, music, sometimes musings. But here we are, Friday, 21st of August. I didn't put a podcast out last week. It was too hot. I was busy. Didn't feel all that well last week, to be honest. But here we are. I'm back in the Lager booth in Lager HQ at the bottom of the garden here in South East London. We have a little family of foxes next door. Quite lively. Make a lot of noise. Irritate the life out of my dogs. However, we've been trying to feed them a bit. Now, over a few months, I've paved this bottom part of the garden. Took me ages. Don't get a lot of sunlight down here, so we had all of these ground bricks that we bought last year, so I've kind of paved it. Anyway, so we've been leaving food out for these foxes just outside Lager HQ here. And the foxes are eating it, hopefully gladly. They've been getting some nice bits, I might say. They've been treated somewhat. They may not see it that way. But what they keep doing is they keep dumping it as well. So they're eating the food and then dumping. So that idiom of don't crap where you eat, well, it obviously doesn't apply to them. So I've had to stop putting the food out because they keep crapping everywhere and I keep having to pick it up. It's not very pleasant. Anyway, there you go. I don't know why I went off on that. So yeah, last week I didn't put one out. Apologies. But this week I'm back and I'm picking up where I left off a few weeks back, which was this audio book project for the Suburban, which I'm doing on. So today there'll be 4 more poems. 2 of them very short haikus, one of them sort of a slightly amusing anecdote and the other one a bit depressing. But you know, this is what I wrote. This is all quite old now. Suburban came out in 2018. All those poems, the majority were written years before. So, you know, so I'm going back through this material that's very old to me and material that I very rarely ever look at. You know, so that's still fun. I recorded some earlier, which may be why my voice is a little bit hoarse. So yeah, I've not done that for a few weeks because I think last time, 2 weeks ago, when I put the podcast out, I then that evening went and did the gig for adult entertainment over at Cafe Otto, Large Up, James Messiah, and everyone I saw that evening. Saw some old faces, Bridget Minamore, Sean Mahoney, Zia Ahmed. Met a whole bunch of people. It was really good. It was rammed. I got there early and there was a queue going around the corner. I know I mentioned it was going to be busy, but yeah, it was buzzing in there and it was great to be on the set. I was first up. You know, I was a little nervous. James said to me, oh yeah, I want to start with a bang. So I was first on. You know, and then there was a bunch of readers. Some of them were reading like extracts from novels, stuff like that. It wasn't just poets, but they were all really good. There was a bit of music as well. But yeah, it went down really well. And this place, this venue, Large Up, Gary from Leeds, good mate of mine, he was telling me he saw some Norwegian like noise jazz or whatever that is in there. I think they do a lot of jazz stuff. So like sound wise, it was really well set up. Like we had a condenser mic on stage. That never happens. You normally get, you know, the bog standard SM58, which I own 2 of. Great microphone. But this one, it was all being recorded. I don't know what's going to happen with any of that footage, but yeah, so the sound was sweet, really good. You know, when you're like, I'm on a condenser microphone now in a little booth, so it means I can play with the voice a little bit. Like when you're live, all those nuances of the voice you can't always get because you're in a venue, you're competing with lots of other sounds. The microphones, the dynamic live mics don't tend to pick up those nuances, which is a good thing because ultimately there's a lot of extra sounds you don't want to be picking up, like the aeroplane that just went over there, which you may or may not have heard. All the kids playing next door, all the foxes talking about what food they're going to get tonight and where they're going to dump in my garden. But anyway, it was great. It was really good. It was rammed. It was great to see people again, people I haven't seen in years. Yeah, Bridget, Sean's here, James Messiah's his event. Met some people, there's some DJs I was chatting to and photographers, and it's all that kind of crowd at Dalston. I hadn't been there for ages. I forget how lively that place is. It's like worlds away from Plumstead and Woolwich. But there you go. Not in a bad way, mind. It was nice going in there and then jetting out. You know, got back. I still wasn't feeling very well. And that not feeling very well sort of bled over for the next few days. And of course it was like Scorchio. Day after that, talking about local area, Woolwich, Plumstead, there was a really nice community festival over in Thamesmead. It was pretty decent. And someone else I know who I've not seen in years, Kazuko Hoki, a bit of a legend if you don't know, and her band called Frank Chickens. They were really funny. They were doing their show and it was great. I finally got to see Frank Chickens. They perform all over the place, lots of festivals all over London. They do a lot of like cabaret events, that kind of thing. It's really wacky. It's like pop songs with choreography and mad costumes and stuff. And it's really funny. Kazuko has been around a long time. And one of the first actual professional theatre show I ever did was Kazuko's show. It was about the borrowers. You know, so we got to work with her. I've known her for a long time. Yeah, she's great. She's so good. And it was wicked to see her smash it with Frank Chickens. So that was that really. And then I was kind of busted for the next few days. Don't know what it was, this heat stroke or whatever, but here we are. So it took me a while. So by the time last week, I was like, it's too hot. So I'm glad that the weather has cooled down. And then this week, I went and met Paul Lyles of Poetry on Poppadoms. Sorry about that. So when I'm in the booth, like recording, I read off, I put the poems into a little document and I read them off my phone. I've got a little holder in there. But then my wife just rang me asking me to come into the house. So anyway, a little interruption there, which you probably won't hear on here. But anyway, there you go. I can't even remember where I was. I think I was talking about meeting Paul Lyles, Poetry and Poppadoms. Yeah, he was giving me a bit of advice on some things, and had a nice to see him at a couple of drinks. And then I was back at Chelsea Theatre on Wednesday to see a work in progress performance of a show called Mice and Men, which is like a retelling of Mice and Men, the Steinbeck novel, great book. And coincidentally, I've been reading Grapes of Wrath, or The Wrath of Grapes. I can't remember which way around. Great book. I'm almost at the end. But yeah, it's really good. So these guys I've known for years. They're all from Beatbox Academy. Large Up Wizard, Large Up Jacob, Large Up Javon and Celeste, and then Conrad, who directed it. So they've been putting this together off their own back for probably about a year. They debuted a couple of songs at Christmas when we did a performance there. And they've done it, off their own back. They've been meeting up and putting this little piece together. And then they got some space at Chelsea Theatre, Large Up Chelsea Theatre. And Con's been working with them, my good friend Conrad Murray. And then hopefully this is going to go to become a full show. It was really good. So it's Beatbox Academy. So they're all beatboxing and rapping and doing all the music live a cappella in the show whilst telling their own version of this story, and there's 4 of them. It was really good. So we saw the first part of it. All going well. Next year, I'm going to go in and do a bit of work on that show with them. A little kind of associate director role type thing. But yeah, man, it was really good. So I was chuffed to see that. Yeah, and that's kind of been my week, really. So before I get into the poems, don't forget, 2 weeks ago, In These Times came out. That's the verse I vocaled on this track for Kimber on his EP Becoming the Sound Volume 1 out on Architecture Recordings, drum and bass. Yeah, mate, it's banging. That's there, and my own EP came out a couple of months ago. More 64s of Boredom. You can stream all of those on all your favourite platforms. Or you could go buy it on Bandcamp, which is always the favourable option. So a couple of other things. Last few months, because I've been at home a lot, I've been trying to sort out work for the next few months, and it's starting to pay off, ironically. But yeah, there's been a few little ideas that have been slowly fermenting in the back of my mind. One of them is a project for Reece and New Town, which is that fictional character, and I've done a few things on here of that world. I'm starting to put something together, which is going back to when he's a kid in New Town, and there's a little direction I want to go with that. It's early days. And then there's this other idea, which I've just been thinking about for quite a long time now, which is a show idea I want to do for younger kids that I want to take into schools. Probably that kind of 8 to 11, 8 to 12 age group. And it's loosely based on Plato's analogy of the cave. So another book I'm currently reading, working my way through, is Plato's Republic. So anyway, this week, an opportunity came up to test out an idea. And so I thought, I need to actually formulate this into a solid idea. And I've started writing towards this kids project, and I'm excited again. So I'm sort of in this new phase, I feel like, anyway, a very early new phase. I'm excited, and I don't know, I feel like I'm coming back out again from like hibernation or something. Or no, coming like almost like starting again. Like tonight I'm going to an open mic locally. It's been a long time since I've been to an open mic. I just put my name down to read some poems. It's a local one. I'm trying to build up something a bit locally, get to know a few people around here. I've been in this area on and off for a long time. And I found out there's a little radio station and a little art collective space nearby over in Abbey Wood, which I didn't know about. So I don't know, all these little things are starting to come together. So that's where I'm at. I know I've been waffling for quite a long time. But anyway, I'm going to do the poems now. This first one is called A Pale Shade of White. I quite like this. I don't think I ever performed it, maybe once or twice. But it's quite amusing. It's based on a true story. It's called A Pale Shade of White. This one time I sold out. Imagine a drawstring bag being pulled tight. That's what my skin felt like, bathed in waves of ultraviolet light. The extreme temperature was like twice the intensity of any pressure inflicted on me by sections of society obsessed with image, or any mates teasing me with well-worn-out white jokes, or people who I barely know having the bollocks to tell me I shouldn't wear shorts. That did happen one time. My mate from the office used to go, so I thought I'd give it a go too. Me and him weren't the same though. In a lucky dip from the gene pool, I came out Celtic, and he came out Latino. The lady at the desk told me the minimum amount of time was 6 minutes. She looked at me and set the machine for 2. A healthy, plump piece of bacon placed under the naked flame of a grill shrinks, crackles and spits, taking on a form that I'm quite sure nature didn't intend. I walked out of there almost as white as I went in, feeling like I'd sacrificed my soul to a skint demigod offering a pyramid scheme to bronze skin. When my mates found out, I breathed in and crossed my fingers for an early winter. There you go. Good friend of the family, legend, Jez, once said, whilst we were having a drink in a pub, Paddy wasn't born under the sun, referencing his own background. So I guess for me, it'd be Jock and Paddy were not born under the sun. So there you go. I went to a tanning booth once. True story. I think I went a couple of times, actually. Yeah, man, I felt horrible. Some things just ain't meant to be. Mind you, saying that, I was at a family do last week, and one of my brothers was like, Paul, you look really brown. Have you been on holiday? And I haven't. It's just walking dogs multiple times a day. All right, here you go. Here's a haiku. So in the book, there's a few of these. So in this part of the book, these poems are like, the book is in 3 parts. This bit was, all the first part is like poems all based on where I grew up around Hawley, Crawley, Redhill. And then the next part is like London, coming to London, really. So lots of these haikus are all travel ones. And I know traditionally a haiku is a Japanese form of poetry with a set amount of syllables, which when translated to English is 5 syllables line 1, 7 syllables line 2, 5 syllables line 3. So they're very short and they tend to be about nature. So the joke I would always say was, naturally, mine's about the Northern Line. But anyway, this is called the 12, the legendary 12 bus. "Shut your mouth, rude boy," said the man on the 12 bus, talking to himself. Saw numerous things on that 12 bus when I lived around East Dulwich Way for a while. Saw some absolute nutcases. That goes back to the days of the bendy buses. Remember them? Or the free bus, as the kids used to call it. All right, this one, again, I don't think I ever performed this, maybe once. I think it was part of that anthology it was originally part of, called Rhyming Thunder. But yeah, this one, again, it's not an actual story, but the feeling of it is loosely based on where I was. This part of the book was a phase where I was writing about chicks, really, relationships. I went through this phase of doing it. Never again. So yeah, this one's pretty miserable. It's called She Says. Sat on a cold, hard, shapeless plastic chair in a sterile hotel corridor which smells of damp towels disinfected of life. Sipping on tasteless tea bought from an overpriced machine whilst the love of your life is in the wedding suite. Sipping on champagne, making love to a man with bigger muscles but not much else to say. You tell yourself he's all right and you're happy for her, whilst pretending you can't hear the high-pitched moans which fracture the fine wine glass rim of your feelings and the low-frequency mumbles like earthquake tremors to the very structure of your manhood. Because when she's done, you're giving her a lift home, like you always do, because your friends, she told you so, and you agreed. Yeah. God, I must have been pretty depressed when I did that. And I don't drive either. Well, I didn't back then anyway, certainly. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. It's out there now, it's done. Right, this next one, another haiku here, it's called Embankment. I was like, so drunk, said the well-dressed young lady, stood on the platform. Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah, there you go, that's the 4. Sorry, I was about to read the next one, but no, I can't. I've got to go upstairs to see my wife. All right, that's it. There's your 4. I should be back next week, all going well. Don't forget, Stream in These Times by Kimber, Kimbr. Find that on all music audio platforms. Buy the original copy of the book of the poems you just heard, The Suburban, on my website, paulcree.co.uk/shop. And you can go stream my EP, More 64s of Boredom, self-produced rap EP. 5 tracks, each one 64-bar verse. That is also available on all your streaming platforms. Aside from that, have a lovely weekend. I should be back all going well next week. Peas and taters, Paul.
It's lager time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?